In the quiet village of Umuoma, where the morning sun always rose with a golden glow, and elders greeted each day with the sound of distant roosters, there lived a woman whose story the villagers whispered with both pity and sorrow. Her name was Mama Nena, gentle, kind-hearted mother whose life had been shaped by sacrifice, motherhood, and pain she never deserved. Once, she was known for her bright smile and her eyes that sparkled like morning dew. But those days were long gone. Now, those same eyes no longer saw the world. Darkness had wrapped around her vision like a cruel cloth she could not remove. Still, every morning, Mama Nena sat quietly outside her small mud house, her walking stick resting beside her, listening to the laughter of village children and silently praying for her son, Chike. Chike, her only child, her pride, her heartbreak. Long ago, everyone believed he would be the one to lift his mother out of poverty. When he gained admission to the university and later moved to Lagos for work, the entire village rejoiced. "Mama, Nena, prepare yourself," they would say. "Your son will soon return to build you a big house. You will ride in cars. You will wear lace and gold." But life, as we know, does not always follow the sweetness of early promises. Whenever a neighbor asked, "Mama, when did you last hear from Chike?" she would force a smile and reply softly, "My son is busy in Lagos. Big men are always busy." But the truth? It had been 6 months since she last heard his voice. 6 months since he promised, "Mama, I'll come and take you to Lagos soon." He never came. He never sent money. He never called, not even once. Some villagers said Lagos had changed him. Others said his wife, Adaze, had poisoned his heart. But most believed what Mama herself refused to accept. He had abandoned her. Yet every single morning, she pressed her fingers along the old keypad of her small Nokia phone, dialing the same number she knew by heart. And every morning, she heard the same cold response. "The number you are trying to call is not reachable." Still, hope kept her alive. That morning, the sky was blue, calm, peaceful, as though unaware of the pain in one woman's heart. Mama Nene was sitting on a wooden stool when she felt the soft footsteps of her neighbor, Mama Ifeoma, approaching. "My sister." Mama Ifeoma called gently. "You have not eaten." "I am fine," Mama Nene whispered. "I am only thinking of my son." "Mama," her friend's voice broke a little. "You cannot keep doing this. Chike has forgotten this village. He has forgotten you." "But?" Mama Nene shook her head slowly. "No, a child cannot forget the womb that carried him. I refuse to believe it." Mama Ifeoma sighed deeply. We shall see." Meanwhile, far away in the bustling city of Lagos, where the sound of horns replaced the crow of roosters, Chike was living a very different life. Lagos had indeed changed him. He drove a shiny black SUV, wore designer clothes, and walked with the confidence of a man who believed he had conquered poverty forever. His company was growing. He had important clients, and he lived in a luxurious duplex in Lekki. But inside that house lived another kind of problem. His wife, Adaeze, beautiful? Yes, elegant. Yes, but her heart. Her heart was sharper than a razor blade. Not once did she ever encourage Chike to remember his mother. "Your mother is of no use to us in this city," she would say, her voice dripping with disdain. "What will a blind old woman come here to do? Embarrass us? Bring village smell to our home?" Each time she spoke about Mama Nenen, something in Chike's heart softened. But Adaze always found a way to reshape his thoughts. One afternoon, while they sat in their beautifully furnished living room, Adaze held his hand and said, "Baby, listen, you are a Lagos big man now. What will your friends say if they see your mother begging to enter your car? Leave her in the village. Let people who understand village life take care of her. Chike hesitated. But she is my mother. Yes. Adaze replied sharply, and she already lived her life. You need to focus on your future. Our future. Her words pierced deep, like poison entering slowly. That same evening, his phone rang. A village number. Daeze frowned immediately. If that is your mother, don't answer it. Chike swallowed hard. He looked at the phone screen. He saw the familiar digits. His heart twisted. But then he pressed ignore. And that night, Mama Nena held her phone to her chest, wondering why her son was busy yet again. Days passed in the village. The rainy season began. The wind grew colder. And with each passing day, Mama Nena's condition worsened. She stumbled. When walking, she struggled to cook. Sometimes she forgot to eat, but she never forgot to pray. God, please keep my son safe. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the palm trees, casting long shadows across the red soil, Mama Nena felt her way toward the village stream to wash her face. But the path was slippery after rain. Her stick hit a stone she didn't see. She stumbled and fell. A group of young boys nearby rushed to help her. Mama, are you okay? She winced, clutching her knee. I am fine. My son, he will come. For me soon. But the boys exchanged looks that even a blind woman could feel in the air, pity mixed with sadness. That night, the entire village began whispering again. Ha! Chike has truly forgotten his mother. Imagine a blind woman walking alone at night. Even wicked children do better. May God judge those who forget their parents. The whispers floated through the village like smoke from a bitter fire. Even children had begun asking, Mama, why doesn't Chike take his mother to Lagos? But no one had an answer. Back in Lagos, Chike walked out of an important meeting with foreign investors. His face glowed with excitement. We did it, he told his colleague. This deal will change everything. Congratulations. Then this colleague smiled. Your mother must be proud. At that moment, at that simple comment, Chike froze. Proud? His mother didn't even know if he was alive. Before the thought could settle, his phone rang. Again. A village number. His breath quickened. His fingers trembled slightly. Could it be? But Adaze stepped into the corridor, her eyes sharp. You're not thinking of answering that call, right? He hesitated. Baby. She leaned closer, lowering her voice. Don't let village people scatter your mind. You are too important now. Too successful. Your mother is fine. Leave her there. And just like that, he pressed ignore. Again, far away in Umuoma, as the moon rose, casting pale light over the village, Mama Nena sat alone inside her small hut. Tears streamed slowly down her cheeks. Chike, she whispered into the darkness. My son, have you truly forgotten? Eh? Her heart cracked, not because of poverty, not because of blindness, but because of abandonment. And just when she thought loneliness would swallow her completely, she heard footsteps approaching her compound. Slow, heavy, unfamiliar footsteps. Mama Nena? A deep voice called gently. She straightened, gripping her walking stick. My son? She whispered hopefully. Chike, is that you? No, Mama, the voice replied. My name is Tunde, and I have come because I heard your story. Her. Breath caught. What story? He sighed deeply. The story of a mother, forgotten by the son she raised with her whole heart. As the wind howled outside and the moon hid behind clouds, Mama Nena's trembling lips formed one question. The question that would change everything. What do you want from me? For a long moment, Mama Nena sat quietly, her blind eyes facing the direction of the stranger's voice. Night air drifted into her small hut, carrying the distant sound of crickets and the crackling of firewood from neighboring compounds. The man who had come to see her This Tunde stood with a gentle firmness, as if he already understood the weight of her pain. "Mama," he began softly, "I am a journalist. I came to this village to document the stories of elders. But when I arrived, everyone was talking about you." "Talking about me?" she whispered, surprised. "What is there to say about a blind old woman?" Tunde knelt beside her instead of standing over her, showing the respect of a son kneeling before his mother. "Mama, they spoke of your kindness, how you sacrificed everything for your son. But they also spoke of your loneliness." At those words, her heart squeezed painfully inside her chest. "Mama," he continued slowly, "the village is worried. They say you walk alone. They say you fall. They say hunger lives too close to your door." She swallowed hard. "Tunde, my son. He is in Lagos. He's very busy. He will come for me soon." Tunde lowered his gaze, though she could not see it. "Mama, forgive me, but I have heard that for years." Her lips trembled. Silence fell thick, heavy, full of truth she did not want to admit. "Mama," he continued gently, "I would like to help you. Please tell me the truth. When last did your son call you?" She hesitated. Her hands shook slightly as she ran her fingers along the top of her walking stick. 6 months, she whispered, the words barely escaping her lips. Tunde closed his eyes, pained. "Mama." And before that, another 6 months. He exhaled sharply. "Mama, let me take you to Lagos. Let me take you to him." Her head jerked slightly. "Ah, no. My son is busy. I cannot disturb him. He will be ashamed if I come without calling." Tunde's voice softened. "Mama, ashamed of what? Ashamed of his own mother?" She said nothing, but her silence was louder than any answer. The next morning, the entire village gathered, like ants discovering sugar. Nothing spreads faster in an African community than news that smells like trouble. Children ran to fetch their mothers. Women left their cassava half-grinded. Men paused their palm wine arguments. Even elders who rarely walked far came out to sit under the big mango tree, stroking their beards with quiet curiosity. "Man, have you heard? That young man from Lagos came to see Mama Nena last night. They said he wants to take her to Lagos. Chike will finally be forced to show his true colors." Voices rose like a flock of restless birds. When Mama Nena stepped out of her hut, holding Tunde's hand for guidance, whispers swept across the gathering like wildfire. Even the wind carried it. Double quotes. "Ah, she is really going. Blind woman traveling all the way to Lagos? This will not end quietly." Elder Okonkwo, the oldest man in Umuoma, leaned heavily on his staff. His deep voice rumbled across the crowd like distant thunder. "People of Umuoma, you all know me. I do not speak unless the matter is serious. And this one is as serious as a snake under the bed." The villagers fell silent. "Mama Nena," he said, turning toward her, "this child of yours, are you sure he will welcome you?" She clutched her wrapper nervously. "He's my son, even if he shouts, even if he's angry. A mother does not fear her own child." "Mama," Elder Okonkwo said gently, "in our world today, some children use hot water to chase away the same chickens that hatched them. This journey may not bring you peace." Her chin lifted with quiet dignity. "Even if he pushes me away, I want to see him, even if it is only once more before I die." Those words pierced the village's heart like a spear. Women wiped tears from their eyes. Men shook their heads slowly. Even the palm leaves above seemed to sway in sympathy. Tunde stepped forward. "Elders, please, let me take her. I promise I will not leave her alone." Elder Okonkwo studied him carefully. "Young man, Lagos is a jungle. People eat each other there. But you look like a good boy. Mama, He continued, facing her. If you go, you must prepare your heart. For Lagos can open wounds that were long hidden. She nodded softly. My heart has been wounded for many years already. The old man sighed. Then go, and may the ancestors walk with you. As Tunde packed her small bag containing her wrapper, her Bible, and the old photograph of Chike as a young boy, the village women surrounded them. Mama, you must eat before the journey. Mama, take this roasted yam. Mama, let me help tie your wrapper well. Mama, greet your son for us, if he allows you inside. Some laughed bitterly. Others shook their heads, but Mama Nena smiled faintly. My son will welcome me, she repeated, more to herself than to them. Before leaving, she turned her face toward the crowd. Thank you, all of you. If I do not return, tell Chike I love him. The murmurs grew louder. A mother's heart is deeper than the ocean. Even blindness cannot hide her love. Chike has committed a great sin. As they helped her into Tunde's vehicle, some villagers waved sorrowfully. Others whispered prayers. A few shook their heads in disappointment, not at Mama Nena, but at her son. The car engine hummed to life. Tunde glanced at her. Mama, are you ready? She nodded, though her hand trembled. Yes, my son, take me to Lagos. And so, they began the long journey. Hours passed. The road stretched out endlessly. Trucks roared past them. Dust rose like smoke behind the tires. The smell of fuel and roasted corn mixed in the air. Inside the car, Mama Nena held the photograph against her chest. Tunde, she asked quietly, Do you think my son will recognize me? He hesitated, choosing his words. Carefully, Mama, a son always recognizes his mother, even when he pretends not to. Her lips quivered. I pray so. Then she asked the question that had been burning in her heart for years. Do you think he is ashamed of me? Tunde swallowed hard. Mama, listen to me. A child who is ashamed of his mother is a child who has lost his way. You are not the problem. She nodded slowly as tears escaped the corners of her eyes. They continued driving, through towns and traffic, until the bright chaos of Lagos began to appear. Billboards, crowded markets, endless cars, a loud rumble of generators. Mama, Tunde said, we are here. She straightened, fear and hope wrestling inside her. In Lekki Phase 1, the gated estate sparkled with luxury. High walls, uniformed security men, cars worth more than entire village homes lined the driveways. This was Chike's world. The closer they got to his street, the more Mama Nena's breathing changed, faster, shallower, mixed with trembling excitement. My son lives here? She whispered in disbelief. Yes, Mama. As they approached the gate of a tall white duplex with shining marble floors and 2 flower pots at the entrance, she felt her heart squeeze. Tunde, wait. He parked. She held his arm tightly. Please, I know my son may be angry. I know he may shout, but no matter what he says, please promise me you will not let go of my hand. Tunde placed his hand over hers. I will not leave you, Mama. She nodded slowly. Good, because today, either my heart will heal or break completely. With that, Tunde stepped out and approached the gate. Mama, he whispered, we are here. She raised her blind eyes toward the sound of his voice, unaware that behind those white walls, a storm was waiting. And when the gate finally opened, everything changed. The gate of the mansion groaned open, its metal frame shining under the Lagos sun. Behind it stood a tall security guard named Musa, his uniform crisp, his face carved with boredom until he saw the sight before him. A blind old woman, wrapped in a faded wrapper, standing beside a journalist he had never seen before, clutching a photograph of a boy she loved more than life. Musa blinked, confused. Yes? Can I help you people? Tunde stepped forward. Good afternoon, Oga. Please, we are here to see Mr. Chike. Immediately, the guard's posture stiffened. He eyed them suspiciously. Which Chike? My Oga? The one inside? Yes, Tunde replied calmly. Musa's eyes narrowed with disbelief. And who are you people? Before Tunde could answer, Mama Nena lifted her trembling chin. I am his mother. Musa's jaw dropped. His eyes bulged. He looked from her to the large, beautiful house behind him, as if trying to reconcile two opposite worlds. You, he whispered. You are Oga's mother? She nodded slowly. The guard scratched his head, clearly troubled. But, madam, sorry, I've worked here for 2 years. I never hear Oga talk say he get mama in the village. He talk say everybody for him family done die. Those words struck Tunde like a slap, but Mama Nena only sighed, a sad, resigned sound. My son, he used to love me. Maybe he is ashamed of my blindness. Tunde clenched his jaw. Please, just tell him his mother is here. Musa hesitated, biting his lip. Hey, this one no go easy. Madam inside no like village people at all. If she see her like this, Musa, Tunde interrupted firmly. Call him. The guard finally nodded and hurried inside. Mama Nena tightened her grip on Tunde's hand. My heart, it is beating too fast. Don't worry, he whispered. Whatever happens, you will not stand alone. Minutes passed. Then footsteps thundered down the marble staircase. Not one person. Not two, but several. Dot first came. Adais, dressed in a silk robe, her eyes sharp as broken glass. Behind her, 2 housemaids followed nervously. And finally, Chike emerged, wearing an expensive shirt, holding a glass of juice. His expression irritated as if someone had disturbed a very important moment of his life. What is going on here? He snapped before reaching the gate, but then he saw them. His eyes landed. First on Tunde confusion, then on the blind woman beside him, annoyance. Then on the photograph in her hand, recognition. He froze. She lifted her head toward the sound of his steps. Her blind eyes softened instantly. My son, she breathed. Chike, is that you? A long silence followed, so thick it seemed to choke the air. But instead of joy, instead of relief, instead of even basic human decency, Chike hissed loudly, Musa. He barked. Why did you let these people enter here? Who are they? What do they want? Musa stepped back, alarmed. Oga, she say she be your mama. Chike's face darkened. My what? Adais placed her hand on her hip. Your mother? This one? This blind old woman? Absolutely not. Tunde stepped forward. Mr. Chike, please. She is your mother. She traveled all the way from the village to see you. Chike glared at him. And you? Who? The hell are you to bring strangers to my house? Tunde, he replied calmly. A journalist. But today, I stand here as a human being. Adais scoffed. A journalist? Oh, so you want to disgrace us, Abi? You want to record nonsense and put it online? Hey, Musa, chase this man out. But Tunde didn't move. Instead, he reached into his pocket and pressed record on his phone. Mama, he said loudly, your son is standing in front of you now. Talk to him. The old woman's lips trembled. My child, she whispered. I missed you. I prayed for you every day. I know Lagos is hard. I know work is plenty. I came to stop. Chike raised his hand sharply. The words sliced through the air. I did not ask you to come here. Why didn't you stay in the village? Why did you allow yourself to be dragged to Lagos like this? Do you want to embarrass me? The maids gasped. Musa stepped back. Adais smirked. Tunde's jaw tightened. Mama Nena's breath shook. I only wanted to see you, she whispered. Just see your face one more time. Chike clicked his tongue loudly. See my face for what? I sent you money. You have never sent her anything. Tunde cut in sharply. 6 months, you have not even called. Chaik turned on him. Who asked you to talk? Is this your family matter? No, Tunde said, but it's a matter of humanity. Ade stepped forward. Enough of this drama. Musa, chase them out. Let this blind woman go back to wherever she came from. Musa hesitated, sweating. Madam, I no fit push old woman. You will. She screamed, but before she could finish, Mama Nena collapsed to her knees. Her walking stick fell to the ground. Mama! Tunde cried, reaching to support her. She lifted her face toward her son, tears flowing freely. Chaik, did I sin against you? Did I offend you when I gave you life? When I carried you on my back? When I sold my wrappers to send you to school? Her voice cracked. Look at me, even if I cannot see you. Chaik looked away, jaw clenched tight, fighting emotions he didn't want to acknowledge. Tunde shook his head slowly, heartbreak in his eyes. Then he turned his phone toward the scene, still recording everything. You should be ashamed. He said quietly. A mother kneels before the son she raised. The world must see this. Adaze lunged forward. Give me that phone. Tunde stepped back. Touch me, and this video will be online in 1 minute. Chaik turned, panic flashing briefly in his eyes. What video? The video of you rejecting your blind mother. Tunde replied coldly. Let Nigeria judge you. For the first time, fear flickered across Chaik's face. But before he could speak, a voice rose from behind the walls. Everyone come out. Come and see something. It was a neighbor. Residents began pouring out of their houses, drawn by the shouting. Men, women, children, they gathered by the gate, whispering and pointing. Ha! Is that not his mother? This boy is wicked. Blind woman kneeling on the ground, God forbid. Record everything. Record it. Social media must hear this. The murmurs grew louder and louder, like a storm gathering strength. Chaik looked around, suddenly trapped. Embarrassment, fear, shame, anger, all mixing inside him. He turned to Tunde, voice trembling with rage. If you post that video. But before he could finish his threat, Mama Nena collapsed entirely. Her body slumped forward, her breathing weakened, and her voice came out in a fragile whisper. Chaik, my son, don't let me die here. Gasps filled the air. The community stared. Tunde lifted her into his arms. Open the gate. He shouted. We must take her to the hospital. Musa panicked and rushed to pull the gate wide open. And in that moment, in the middle of the chaos, Chaik finally saw the truth he had run from. His mother's life was slipping through his fingers. And if she died today, his guilt would live forever. But the story was far from over. For what would happen at the hospital, what would be revealed there, would shake his life to its foundation. The hospital smelled of antiseptic, cold floors, and whispered prayers. Nurses hurried past like shadows, carrying trays and files. But Tunde saw none of them. His entire focus was on the fragile woman lying unconscious on the stretcher. Mama! Stay with me, he murmured, as the nurses pushed her toward the emergency ward. Behind him, neighbors who had followed from the estate stood watching in silence. Some shook their heads angrily. Some murmured to each other. All of them looked at Chaik with a mixture of disgust and disbelief. He stood rooted at the entrance, sweat gathering at his brow, eyes wide with shock. He had never imagined this moment, his own mother collapsing in front of his mansion. The entire neighborhood watching. Judgment burning into his skin like hot oil. Adaze grabbed his arm. Let's go home. She caused this drama. We don't have to stay here. But Chaik removed her hand from his arm. Thought something had shifted inside him. For the first time in years, he felt the weight of his actions. The coldness, the lies, the shame. of pretending he had no family, the foolish pride that made him abandon the woman who gave him everything. "No," he said quietly. "I'm not going anywhere." Ades frowned. "Chike, don't be foolish." He turned sharply. "Enough." The word was heavy, final, a crack in the foundation of their marriage. Ades scoffed, offended. "You're choosing that old burden over me?" Chike looked at her, and for once, he saw clearly. "I am choosing the truth." He turned and walked into the hospital, leaving Ades standing there with anger twisting her face. Inside the ward, Tunde sat on a plastic chair beside Mama Nena's bed. Her breathing was shallow, her face pale, her hands trembling even in unconsciousness. Chike hovered at the doorway, unable to step inside. Tunde looked up. "You can come in," he said flatly. "She may not see you, but she can still feel your presence." Chike's throat tightened. He took slow steps toward the bed steps that echoed with guilt. He reached her bedside. His voice cracked as he whispered, "Mama, I'm here." No response. He swallowed hard and slowly took her frail hand. In his dot her palm was cold, her fingers soft with age. He remembered her hands when he was young, how they cooked for him, bathed him, wiped his tears, held his when he walked to school. How did he forget? How did he abandon her? A tear rolled down his cheek and fell onto her hand. Tunde watched him without speaking. He didn't need to. The truth was unfolding on its own. Minutes passed. Hours slipped by around evening. The doctor entered the room. He looked from the patient to the two men waiting anxiously. "Her body is weak," he said. "Stress, hunger, exhaustion, and emotional trauma. She needs rest, medication, and proper care. But more than anything, she needs peace." Chike nodded quickly. "Doctor, whatever she needs, I will pay. Just help her." The doctor sighed. "Help begins outside the wallet, young man. It begins from the heart." The words struck deeper than any blow. After the doctor left, the room fell silent again. Then Tunde stood. "Let me give you time alone with her." But before he could leave, Chike reached out and grabbed his arm. "Please," he whispered, "tell me the truth. How did you find her?" Tunde looked at him with a mixture of disappointment and pity. "Your village knows your story. They whispered about you like a curse. A son who rose in life but forgot the roots that fed him." Chike closed his eyes in shame. Tunde continued softly. "Mama fell at the stream. She walks blind, alone. She calls your number every day until the battery dies. She tells the villagers you are busy, but everyone knows the truth." Each sentence sank like stones in water. "I'm sorry," Chike whispered, voice shaking. Tunde exhaled deeply. "Chike, listen. Wealth does not make a man. Kindness does. Respect does. Honor does. The woman lying there, she gave you everything she had. What have you given her in return?" Chike bowed his head. "I want to change. I want to make things right." Tunde nodded slowly. "Then begin now." He stepped aside and left the room, leaving mother and son alone. Hours later, long after the lights outside the hospital had dimmed, Mama Nena finally stirred. Her fingers twitched. Her lips moved slightly. Her eyelids fluttered open. "Mama," Chike breathed, rising quickly. "Mama, I'm here." Her voice was weak. "Chike, is that you or my spirit playing tricks?" "It's me, Mama." He choked. "Your son. I'm so sorry." She turned her blind eyes toward his voice. "Sorry for what, my child?" "For everything," he whispered. "For the silence, for the abandonment, for the shame." A tear slipped from her eye. "I thought you forgot me," she murmured. "I never forgot you, Mama," he said, kneeling beside her bed. "I only forgot who I was." Her hand found his cheek. "My son, even a pot that burns can still be washed clean." He cried then, openly, painfully. loudly, his tears falling on her fingers like raindrops on dry soil. The next day, Tunde returned to the hospital. He found Chike sitting at his mother's bedside, feeding her slowly with a spoon. The sight softened Tunde's heart. "Good morning," he said. Chike stood immediately. "Tunde, thank you for everything." Tunde nodded. "I only did what any sane person would do." But Mama Nena smiled faintly. "No, my son, not everyone has your heart." Chike took a deep breath. "Mama, I want you to come home with me. I will take care of you properly this time. No more lies. No more shame." She smiled sadly. "My child, I would love to. But there is something I must tell you. Something your father left behind for you." Chike frowned. "My father?" Tunde looked confused. Mama Nena reached under her pillow and pulled out a folded document, old, worn, yet carefully kept. "This land," she said softly, "your father left it for you. But I kept it until you were ready. When I saw you in Lagos, when I saw the man you became, I could not give it to you." Chike swallowed hard. "Mama." "But now," she continued, "I give it not to you, but to the young man who treated me like a mother when you did not." Tunde's eyes widened. "Mama, no, I cannot." She placed the document in his hands. "You earned it," she said, "not by blood, but by heart." Chike's breath caught. "Mama, please, don't do this." She turned her face toward him gently. "My son, love is not a matter of birth. It is a matter of behavior. You abandoned me. He saved me." Her words were firm, but her tone was loving. "You can still change, Chike. You can still be the son I raised. But some rewards belong to those who act when others look away." She squeezed his hand. "Walk the right path now. That is enough inheritance for your future." Tunde tried returning the document, but she shook her head. "It is done." A long silence filled the room. But this silence was different, soft, cleansing, full of possibility. Finally, Mama Nena whispered, "A child may forget the mother that carried him, but the world will never forget the child who abandons love." Her final line came like an ancient proverb carried by the wind. When the eyes of a mother close in sorrow, the heart of the child begins to open. And that was her lesson.